What's happening? I'm Tim, the Suburban Dad, helping dads find great bourbon. Today, I'm doing a blind tasting of Wood Finishing Series bottles BRT 1 and 2 and BEP from Maker's Mark. So we're going to dive in and see if last year, 2022, or this year, 2023, is the better year for makers. Let's get to it. Now, a couple things are sad about this situation. First of all, the Wood Finishing Series is over. BEP is the last bottle. What's also sad is BRT 1 and 2, I still have both of these bottles, and they're only about halfway, 2/3 full. That tells me that I didn't love them enough to just polish them off. FAE 1 and 2, those were gone within months. These were good, but they're not amazing. BEP, we'll see. I didn't love it at first sip. Second sip was okay. It'll be interesting to compare. So we got a blind tasting, of course. Going into this, if I had to guess, I'd say BRT 02, that's it, yeah, 02, would be the winner, simply because it was more the dark, rich notes. BRT 01 was more the light, fruity notes. By the way, when you combine these together, it's like peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Delicious. BEP, I don't know, fruity, oaky, somewhat generic, not anything to write home about. So, enough chit chat. Let's get to pour number one. Now, again, these are all from Maker's Mark. They're all the Wood Finishing Series. I expect them to be at least a little similar, if not a lot similar. Just FYI. Right away in the nose on this one. Fruity, but oaky. Almost some grainy notes in there. That wheat, oh my gosh, I'm really getting a hit of wheat in there. And as you probably know, Maker's Mark is a wheated bourbon. So the nose is pretty good on this one. Not offensive. Doesn't burn my nose hairs. Fairly rich. Let's have a taste. Very fruity and spicy on the palate. Just a hint of vanilla cream at the very end. Almost like vanilla ice cream, almost. Bright, spicy, fruity. Pretty good. Pretty heavy on the spice, honestly. That's an interesting one. The finish on this first pour, still going. Rich finish. Fairly long finish. Okay, so pour number one, not shabby at all. Pour number two. Okay, the nose right away is a little bit more shy on this one. Wow, that's really hard to pick out. I have to really stick my nose into the glass to get anything from this one. Dark fruits, maybe even dried fruit. Not a whole lot, pretty shy nose. So pour number one had very punchy in the face rye spice. Not rye, just spice. Baking spice. This one, a lot more mellow. A lot creamier, a lot velvetier. Very oaky. Sweet, like fruity sweet. Kind of, not the individual fruits aren't jumping out at me. Sweet, creamy, rich. Number two, not as good as pour number one so far. Nose very subtle and shy. Palate, yes, it's more mellow, but at the cost of being more boring. Finish is okay. Hangs around a decent amount, but it's not anything memorable. The memory of that finish fades quickly. Pour number three. Nose is a little brighter than pour number two. Like hints of butterscotch in there. Very pleasant. It's still subtle, Like the notes on the nose are kind of hard to pick out, but sweet, candy-ish. I have to say, the noses are fairly different with all these pours so far. This one tied for first. All right, so this one, it's a lot brighter and more gregarious than pour number 2. It'll be interesting to go back through and compare it to pour number 1, because it's definitely better than number 2. It's a little more flavorful and bold, but it's still not awesome, really. A little bit of spice in there, a little bit of nuttiness. What kind of nut? Pecans, maybe? Finish. This might be the shortest finish of all of them. I'm going to go ahead and finish pour number 3 and then work my way back down to pour number 1. Pour number 3, spicy, definitely nutty in there, a little bit, a tiny bit of oak. Not as sweet as the other two, I would say. Interesting. Back to pour number 2. Pour number 2 has the best mouthfeel. That's really its strongest suit. It's kind of chewy almost, but everything's just so subtle and mellow. There's some caramel as I'm revisiting it. A little bit of nuttiness in there as well. Yeah, pour number 2 is okay. It's okay. Back to pour number 1. Yeah, still the best nose on this guy. While 2 had the best mouthfeel, it did not have the best palate. I really think I liked number 1's palate the best, and the nose. And the finish was really good. So, I think I'm gonna go out on a limb here and guess. I think pour number 1 is BEP. I think 2 is BRT02, and 3 is BRT01. Okay, locked it in. Now my favorite pour for the night really has to go to number 1. Pour 3 is a close second. 2 is definitely last place. If it just had a little bit more punch to it with that mouthfeel, it'd be perfect, but it's too mellow for my preferences. A lot of you might prefer that one. That's great. I like a bourbon with a bit of character. I want it to wow me a little bit. Let us find out together the actual results. So, pour number 1. I got it all wrong, guys. I got it all wrong. Pour number 1 is BRT02. So my memory of 02 versus 01 definitely was off. It's been a little bit since I've tried those. So BRT02, pour number 1, that was my favorite tonight. So I called it, even though I didn't think that's what that pour was once I tasted it. Number 2 was BRT01. So my least favorite, BRT01. So that one was more dark and syrupy than I remember. I do recall liking BRT02 better, so that does make sense. So that means that pour number 3 is BEP, close second from BRT02. Far from the best Maker's Wood Finishing Series batch, but it's still a great bottle of bourbon, which is all that matters. So there you go, guys. If you've tried all 3 of these bottles, which was your favorite? Maker's Mark promises that they've got new things coming out. I just got an email from them today saying that they will be announcing new things soon. What do you think it could be? I'm excited. I'm hopeful. They did great with the wood finishing series. I'm excited to see what's coming next. So until next time,